Hi, I'm Nigel Kent.
Hi, I'm Gabby Fallon.
And welcome to Trouble in Paradise. This is our favorite podcast, and we hope that it becomes your favorite podcast too. What are some other podcasts that you listen to, Gabby?
I've listened to Ricky Gervais. That's it.
You listen to one other podcast.
That's it, Ricky Gervais.
You're a upstanding
You told me to watch the Rogan one, so I watched that a couple times.
Well, Joe Rogan's a good podcast.
Not so much.
I've been listening to Paradise After Dark, which is another Florida podcast recently.
You were telling me about that, but it's like, what, true crime?
Yeah, it's like true crime, and there's a little bit of...
Is it about local crime?
It is mostly Florida-oriented stuff.
So, like, an advanced Florida Man podcast.
Yeah, it's like Florida Man, but minus all of the snark and cynicism that we offer to our listeners. So we have a fantastic lineup of delicious content today. We're going to be talking about...
We have utter insanity.
Yes.
Yeah,
because
that's what
you went to Skunk Ape Museum.
Headquarters.
Skunk Ape Headquarters.
Headquarters and museum.
That's where they plan skunk ape things and create their skunk ape. Skunk ape. I can't even talk.
Ape.
Yeah. Skunk. I have a skunk ache. Skunk ape
I have a skunk
empire.
ape after going there.
Okay, so you're going to tell us about that. We have the curious case of the man who disappeared in Naples, right?
Is it that curious?
1997. He's been gone a long time, and all of a sudden he just showed back up.
Yeah, no.
No.
No, I have a whole theory on that as usual.
Okay. So we're going to talk about that. The guy was discovered on Google Maps after being missing for...
22 years.
Yeah, I guess it is
22
years, yeah. My daughter was born in
There
1997.
wasn't that much left of him, for the record.
I imagine not.
No.
And we'll get into why. And then we are going to hear about your latest Gabby Rates dates escapade. Which you sound pretty excited about sharing.
It was creepy. And I think it was like the ultimate of the creepies.
Well, why don't we start with that?
Oh.
Do you want to start with Gabby Rates dates?
Okay.
We have the cheesy saxophone music intro.
And it's so fitting.
It is. So how did this date go? I mean, what happened, you know?
So I had been talking to the guy for about a week. Really nice guy. Seemed like a really nice guy. Real, like, nature man, Florida man. Not Florida man.
Not Florida man.
Nature Florida man.
Nature Florida man.
Save the manatee and the turtles and all kinds of shit.
Like a conservationist?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Really into kayaking and outdoors and all that. So, I mean, conversation for the week was completely normal. We even talked about going for wine or just coffee or just talking. He literally worked less than a block away from me, or works less than a block away from me. So we've run into each other several times and not known it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So how did you meet him then? Like, how did you meet him?
We had already discussed, like, that day meeting. I was off the next 2 days, so we were going to meet for coffee or wine or whatever. There's a new place that opened up, and we were going to meet there. Well, about midnight, I had already talked to him at 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, hadn't talked to him since. About midnight, I get a text message, "Are you awake?"
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like a booty call.
Right. Very...
And you hadn't met him yet?
No. Just talked for
How did you get his phone number?
We exchanged phone numbers.
Like
Is
this an online dating thing?
App, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But going through the app thing, it's a pain in the ass to mass message back and forth. So you just exchange numbers and make it easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that how that works?
Sometimes. If they're cute and you feel a connection.
Oh, and by the way, people, we have got some really fun stuff planned for Gabby Rates dates, and then probably Teddy God bless
Nigel.
America. Nigel Rates dates.
Yeah.
Yeah, there could be a Nigel Rates dates coming at you.
I think there should be. I think there should be quite a few.
Okay.
So
what happened?
I get this message at midnight. Are you still awake? And I'm like, yeah. And then just casual conversation, and then I get a text message like 5 seconds later. Can you call me? Would you mind calling me? No. What's wrong? What's the matter?
Odd, right?
Yeah. So I call him, And you can just tell that he's in a complete panic. He's like full of anxiety. And I'm like, oh, what's wrong? And he told me that he got into a fight with his roommate because one of their friends had died. And it was really upsetting because it was the first time they had gotten into an altercation after
that
30
sounds
years.
terrible.
And so
wait, that sounds awful, and you're making fun of him. Like, their buddy just died.
a week ago. It wasn't like it was yesterday.
Oh, come on.
So
You're mean.
yeah, I don't care. I wasn't mean. I'm like, oh, you sound terrible. Are you okay? Do you need somebody to talk to? Yeah. Would you mind meet me? I know it's crazy to meet.
Was this the sympathy ploy for sex? Is that what was going on?
So, I met him.
No answer on that one. Okay.
I met him, and he was like distraught. He was like, you could tell he had been crying. You could just tell he wasn't right.
He was a mess. Yeah. Okay.
He was an emotional mess. And then he was like showing me like this whole park area where he works, which is right by my work. And I'm like, oh, I know this was all back there. Oh, this is so cute. Saw manatees. What? Saw turtles. It was real pretty. And then he's like, do you want to see the railroad tracks? And I'm like, yeah, those over there. I see them. I know where they go.
See him? Oh, he wanted to walk on the railroad tracks?
Yeah, and he's like, well, do you want to go? There's a path up there.
In the middle of the night?
In the middle of the night at like
That's,
12:30.
I mean, but meeting
Normal,
for a
right?
first time, that's a little odd.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something you do with somebody that you trust, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So you did it.
yeah. I'm like, okay.
Of course you did.
We can go show me the railroad tracks that I already know exist. And we went up to the railroad tracks. And then he's like, oh, do you want to go down this path? And I'm like, in the woods? And he's like, yeah, we can go through the woods. And I'm like, no.
But he was cheered up by now, I suppose, huh?
He was definitely feeling better and was trying to get me in the woods.
Okay. Did you go in the woods?
No.
So that's where I draw the line.
I was fine up until he said the woods. And I'm
Railroad
like,
tracks is pushing it, no woods.
yeah.
Okay.
And then he was like, he tried to kiss me, and then I like flung around, and I'm like, oh, no, I don't do personal contact. Don't touch.
So you made up a phobia to get out of the kissing.
And then he's like, he went to go light a cigarette. I'm like, oh, you smoke? Damn.
Oh, wow. So you
Yeah.
just backpedaled in a hurry.
Yeah. I'm like, well, we can still be friends.
So what was it that, because I know this, you could probably deal with the smoking. You could probably deal with the, so what was it that was the deal breaker?
Because I was being nice, and you took advantage of the one rare moment I was being nice and got out of bed to go listen to you cry about your dead roommate or whatever the hell it was, and
Oh,
be a
you
friend.
need a body cam for these situations.
That would have been great. Walked
Yeah.
up on the body cam.
Well, you need night vision then too at that point, I suppose.
Yeah.
For
Well, it was lit. It was lit 'cause I saw the manatees.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
okay, well, it's good. So he's
It
been
wasn't lit over by the railroad tracks in the woods, though, where I said no.
okay.
Yeah.
Where was this again?
Where was what?
Was this in Bonita?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's some. That's kind of creepy.
Very.
So So I know that you have remained in touch.
Nope.
Wow, you cut him off
He cut me off. I would have still played.
because you wouldn't kiss him, and
I wouldn't kiss him and made him big. I wouldn't go in the woods.
you should have told him that you only blow on the first date, and then blow him a kiss, like that. Said I don't kiss, I just blow.
I just blow.
So, well, what was this guy's code name?
We'll go with Mickey.
Mickey? Is that because he was like mousy and just couldn't take him seriously, huh? How long had you been chatting before you decided to go meet
About
him?
a week. About a week. And it was.
And you had no
I-
plans prior to that?
We had made plans to do something like that day, the next day, around the same time. And then I got the, can you talk? Can you call me? And I had broke Jean-Luc's heart.
Oh boy.
Like, I know.
Have you finally flushed Jean-Luc down the toilet?
Yes.
How did you do it? How did you do that? How did you break his? Because weren't you repeatedly breaking that poor guy's soul like over and over?
He kept breaking up with me every week and every 12 hours. It was about every 12 hours.
But you kept messing with him.
Yeah.
No wonder he kept dumping
I
you.
liked Jean-Luc. He was fun. And then he wasn't fun.
So when did he quit being fun? He got tired of your shenanigans is what happened.
No, he wanted to run his mouth and be like a badass again. And I was like, okay,
Like,
on
what
my
did he,
terms.
What did he say? Run his mouth.
Oh, he was saying, oh, that like, I think I'm a badass. And then I think, well, I am smarter than him. But.
And so humble. Humble Gabby.
Yeah. And that you talk a tough game, and it was okay. Okay. I'll entertain this. And we sat and we talked. And then I'm like, he wanted my opinion. And I gave my opinion and watched him burn a hole through his shirt and catch himself on fire.
Wait, what?
Yes.
What? Why?
Because he just couldn't believe he was drunk, and I don't think he could believe that
Was he
somebody
smoking
was
a
putting
cigarette? Did he
yeah,
have a cigadent?
yeah.
Okay.
But that somebody was putting him in his place publicly.
Wow. Where did this go down?
BBG.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you talking about what's BBG?
Boston Beer Garden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that really a well-known,
I don't know.
like, initials for that? People just call it BBG?
Yeah. In Florida, yeah. Or Naples, they call it BBG.
Oh,
Go to the BBG.
I've never been to it.
Well, you don't hang out in Naples, do you?
Yeah, I do. I do hang out in Naples. I'm going to go hang out in Naples right after this, after we finish recording today's episode of Trouble in Paradise. So you got into so Jean-Luc is distraught, and now he's troubled. But
And then I was like, and I'm done. And I got off the bar stool, and I finished my glass of wine, and I'm done. And I walked out.
Oh, you stormed out. You made
I
a
didn't
little
storm
scene.
out. I was like all giddy.
But a little sassy.
Yeah. And walked out to my car, and then he was like running after me. And he went to touch me again, and I throat punched him. And then he went to grab me again, and I bit as hard as I could.
Okay.
Through his shirt, and there was he sent me a picture of a big bruise with teeth marks and everything. And then that was the last I heard of him.
Wow. So it ended with a physical domestic dispute at Boston Beer Garden parking lot.
And he was like in love. But I'm sorry, I'm never going to hurt you again. And I didn't realize how serious it was. And I'm like, you're delusional.
Well, it was not okay for you guys to assault each other in either direction, but you did fuck with the guy hard for a long time. So I guess it's a mental victory, right?
Yeah.
And the guy's never going to talk to you again. You're sure of it, or does he still text you?
He still tries to reach out. He went and blocked me on Facebook, and then he has a friend request pending right now.
Oh, he can't make up his mind. Poor guy. I remember listening in on a phone call that you had with him. I think you had him on speaker, and you were just rotten.
No.
Yes, you were. You were mean.
I was?
Yes.
Oh.
You were like you was like a kindergarten teacher talking to one of her students.
Okay, well, so that happened that night before I met him because my roommates overheard me shouting at him on the phone, telling him to sit down, eat something, put the bartender on the phone. I want to know what you ordered. I want a picture of food in front of you.
You were being mean. You're so mean.
If
like
you're going to be an idiot...
You're like the bossiest person ever.
No, I don't go around being bossy, but if you're going to be an idiot and throw it in front of me, then I have to take care of it.
And you're going to it's coming back your way.
Yeah.
So, all right, so you actually have rated 2 dates now. Or you haven't rated either one, but you've described 2 of them.
I will miss Jean-Luc.
You will miss Jean-Luc. How would you rate your final date with Jean-Luc?
Well, because you just reprimanded me and said that I misbehaved, so I have to give it like a 3.
Well, the whole thing was like, the whole relationship was like
it was a
bizarre.
It was a total disaster from the beginning.
And then this new date, the guy, the creeper with the train tracks.
That was just weird.
How did you rate that one?
Like, that was just weird. Like, that was like the creepiest date I've ever been on.
What's the number?
I'm going to go with the 1.
Okay, so it's preferable to get into a physical fight.
I would have kept fighting Jean-Luc. If I wasn't trying to prove something, him and I would have both left bruised and beaten.
Well, that would suck. Then you'd be on the news, and I'd be sitting here doing a podcast about it.
Florida woman.
This is Gabby. Yeah.
You would have had to rate the date, though.
Yeah, I guess then I
You could be my one call, and I could tell you, okay, I'm giving it a solid 8.
solid 8. Yeah, you know what? We could have figured out how to have you call in from your jail cell, and or yeah, that would have been perfect.
I'm waiting on my X-rays, but it's looking good.
Yeah, I don't know what they're charging me with yet.
I think I can get off on insanity plea. I got this.
You should see the other guy. Oh boy, unreal. I feel sorry for the people that you mess with.
Why? I don't. They make it easy. It's like I don't go looking for it, but.
Well, Jean-Luc did not sound like the most. He didn't sound like the deepest guy in the world.
No.
But we'll forgive him for that, right? Not everybody can be
deep.
Yeah.
He had moments.
Really? You name one of Jean-Luc's deep moments. What was one of his deep things that he shared?
Because he said something personal about me that he saw and that not a lot of people see, and I was like, "Aw."
Really?
Yeah, he had that one moment. That was the one reason why I agreed to see him again, because he did that.
Was that as good as if you would have received a dead rose from him?
Yeah, it was pretty high.
It's right up there, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, interesting. So we have some interesting new. Let me see what I can pull up on the computer here, because we have something to share about your recent excursion to the Skunk Ape Museum. And I cannot say Skunk Ape today. I don't know why, but I can. There. It's on the screen, right? There's Skunk Ape.
Yeah.
So you went go ahead and tell us what happened on your trip. I don't want to steal your thunder. Give us the story.
So,
this is full commitment that you have.
So I was trying to do two things at once. I was trying to throw in a Gabby date and Swamp Ape Museum.
Okay.
But understandably so, when you mentioned going to a Swamp Ape Museum headquarters, like, I really believe in this and I'm going to solve the mystery, I can understand his little hesitance.
You really wanted to go in solving the mystery, though, didn't you?
I did. I just wanted to prove my point. Prove a point. To just prove something. I wanted to prove something. I even called, I think it was 2 days before, and spoke with the curator's assistant.
Okay.
And verified me coming and what I was I specifically said what I was looking for and pictures and the actual photograph and the actual area, and I took it very seriously.
So he was under the impression that you were a researcher or something.
So I was doing a story.
Cool. Well, he probably jumped all over that.
He did till the day of.
So what happened? So you spoke with the guy that runs the thing, the guy that we looked at on a video a couple weeks ago, Dave, the Skunk Ape curator. Mm-hmm. And so what was that phone call? Was like pretty eager to have you come out and do a story.
He was very compliant. It was very. He still takes it very serious. I will add that they have since expanded or included the camping area. So it is a destination for Floridians and tourists, I guess.
So there's a campground.
Yeah.
Is it primitive, or do they have like water?
I don't know. I couldn't. I walked over to the dirt road that leads to it, and I saw alligator trails, and that's when I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, I think I didn't bring my gun today, so I think we're gonna.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had kind of a date.
Well,
but that's what I wanted to do. Like, I wanted my date to actually ride with me, and I was going to talk about, because you have to go through the whole preserve to get to the headquarters, which.
So you have to drive in through the national parkland or whatever it is. And then eventually...
I'm sorry, that right there, it was very upsetting because it kind of blows my theories, because then nobody's out there.
Nobody... What do you mean? Like, it's not...
There
this is Dave here?
That's Dave.
So this is the gentleman that you spoke with?
Yes.
Is this the gentleman that was there when you went?
No, he sent his brother.
His brother. Was his brother any good, or...?
No.
So what happened?
He sent his brother to let me know that I guess Dave is in such high demand that he's had several other phone
You
calls.
talking about this guy?
Yeah.
Ah,
And that
okay,
he
I
would
guess.
need a $200 deposit to set up a group where we would all go out via airboat or swamp buggy to the actual site where the picture in 1996 was taken.
You guys gonna
of
go
the
out on a swamp buggy?
Which
Wow.
I saw the swamp buggy.
They're like
and
big
I ain't
tractor
getting on no
looking.
damn swamp buggy.
Yeah. Okay, so what was Dave's brother's name?
I don't know. Jethro. I couldn't tell
Oh
you.
man. And you went with Scooter, right?
I did.
Very good. And so I understand that Scooter took a GoPro and that he had that he took body cam footage of the whole tour, or most of it. And
It was a quick tour.
it's I think we have some of the footage
It's
here.
very misleading, and I think that that's what they should tell people.
Isn't this Scooter here?
That's Scooter.
Why is
his
Scooter
head.
wearing a sombrero?
I don't know. Apparently, it's a California thing to keep you protected from the sun.
Oh, that's right. Scooter's from the left coast.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, he sports the sombrero pretty well.
That was the smaller of the two, actually. He offered the larger one to me, and I declined.
All right. Well, let's turn up the volume here and watch this video. I'm just going to warn you right now. It's upside down because Scooter is having some technical difficulties that day. Okay. What's happening?
I don't know. I spoke. Oh, he's making sure it was on.
Hi, it's Gabby. Trouble in Paradise.
What's this? What's this hand stuff?
I'm gonna explore today.
I had the whatever it is thing that goes to the GoPro in my hand.
Oh,
It was like
the
this screw thing.
the microphone.
I don't think. No, I didn't have the microphone. I had some tool or something for the GoPro in my hand that I didn't want to lose.
So you made this video, this upside down welcome video. Welcome to Skunk Ape Museum. I'm Gabby, and then you went like that. That was sad. Oh, man.
There was more going on outside the museum than was actually going on, and you walk into this 4x4 shed.
like a quarter the size of this room.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I had to ask.
Let's see if we can find a picture of that while you're talking about it.
I sent you pictures of it.
Oh, that's right.
I sent you
Oh, you're gonna
pictures,
be
yeah.
mad because I didn't download them.
Yeah, imagine that.
Hey, tell us about it, and I'll find them. I'll pull them up while you're.
Okay.
While
So
you're
you
doing
literally you walk in, and they had the rack of Skunk Ape T-shirts. They also had anything you wanted in alligator skull or tooth available for purchase.
it. Did you buy a Skunk Ape
No,
T-shirt?
I did not because they had been there for a while.
The shirts?
The shirts.
Oh boy.
The shirts, and then you could get a jawbone knife made out of alligator jawbone. You could get your alligator tooth necklace.
That's
You
important
could-
stuff,
no,
though. Those are important supplies.
Not to mention, it's ridiculously priced items.
Why?
And then you could have your alligator skin covered wallet, your alligator skin covered phone case, your alligator keychain, license plate, lighter. It was so much. So I'm like, all I see is alligator shit.
Okay.
So then,
and you were looking for some Skunk Ape.
yeah,
crap.
that was the whole purpose. That's the I told you.
All right, you got to keep going because I'm about to airdrop some files over here.
Okay. So I went up and I asked. There was a young lady who is somehow related to this man, Dave. I don't know how. Maybe a daughter. And then her mate were behind the counter. And they were very excited because they got new board games for the camping site.
Okay.
Not like mass quantity, like they have a Monopoly game that you can borrow.
You can borrow it. Why would you
You have-
borrow a board game there? Is it for when you get bored at
I
the
guess
museum?
there's nothing really to do at the campsite, from what I could tell.
I almost have these pictures unloaded.
That that gorilla that's in that picture right there it's out of service now. It's actually inside the museum.
Oh, that's good to know for people who are going to.
Yeah. But the giant Florida panther is still there, and then the several Harry and the Henderson Sasquatch statues are still there. There's also an oriental lion, which I didn't understand.
I don't understand anything about this entire thing, so I'm not sure why you're attempting to understand any of it.
Because I wanted to. So I really thought this was like real. I mean, not real, but like there'd been a little bit more effort.
Okay.
So I had to. All I saw was alligator
Do you think
stuff.
these guys make their living with this or not?
I hope not. I really hope not. Because just wow. Maybe because they had kayaks and canoes. I don't know where you would go to do that. And then they did have the swamp buggy. But so I had to ask whatever her name is, I don't remember, where is the actual skunk ape stuff? Because I was under the impression so that picture right there, that picture, that's the original picture that Dave took in 1996 or whatever, and he has it blown up and scotch taped to the wall.
So you took a picture of the picture.
Yep.
And
because that's all they have is the one picture blown up.
And this here is, and how big is the picture at the museum?
About the size of the screen.
So it's a little bit bigger than it appears here.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to be the skunk ape here?
Yes.
Why
Now,
would the
keep in
skunk ape be
mind-
just standing out in the middle of life?
And that's what I'm saying. I drove an hour out to this headquarters, and this is all it is. It's just flat, marshy, wet nonsense with a couple of palm fronds. Like, there would be no reason why anything 6 foot would be hanging out there, just out in the wide open.
Okay. Yeah. Well, fine. Was this? Oh, I know what this is. This is the yes. We'll come back to that one.
There is the giant Florida panther statue
Okay.
that you cannot get near.
Cannot get near it. Why?
No, I don't. They have it all fenced off.
Maybe they're
And
afraid somebody's going to
electrical
vandalize
fence.
it.
I guess, but it's not the Florida Panther Museum or headquarters.
It doesn't even look like it. Looks like a friendly children
Yeah.
playground thing. It doesn't even look like a panther.
But that's one of the 4 Harry and the Hendersons statues.
the whole family's there, huh?
It's the same statue, just strategically placed in 4 different areas.
Oh, so like they ordered 4 of them in the same day?
Yeah, like I want to know where you found them.
All right.
There's me and
Wow.
the foot.
You really do wear a
verify.
size 4 shoe.
I was 7.5.
Okay, so that's supposed to be actual size for a skunk ape foot?
Okay, yeah, and just keep in mind that the actual casting of the skunk ape foot I sent you,
I'm going to show that in a second.
doesn't match that foot, but whatever.
Oh, okay, so you've got a conspiracy theory. Oh,
And
look at
there's
this.
me and Harry.
You and Harry. Well, you seem to be really admiring the skunk ape. Now, do the curators believe that the skunk ape is in fact a male or female?
Male.
Interesting. I thought you contended that skunk
I
ape.
still believe it's a female because they did the brother did verify that it is, from his description of height, it is a foot shorter.
But
than
you
Bigfoot.
just speculated earlier when we were talking on the phone that it's possible skunk ape is in fact a homosexual male,
Yeah.
a gay squatch of some
Yeah,
sort.
because I was speaking with an expert, I guess. I don't know if I'd call him an expert. He's a military man
Oh, yes, indeed.
about certain things. And
You reached out to the military to find
you
out some
know,
more about skunk ape.
because I think I sent it to you, but they actually have like this affidavit hanging next to the picture about like Collier County's definition of, like, he wouldn't had it validated. This picture.
Collier County's definition of what?
I don't know what's on there.
I didn't download that one. We'll have to show that one
You know
later.
what?
Yeah, I know. I didn't get all.
You were so.
You were doing a monologue while I was preparing the
Okay,
pictures.
yeah.
I was unprepared.
Did you show that you get the foot cast? There it is.
This one
See?
here?
Look. Now it almost looks bird-like.
So what are
Not
they?
to mention all the toes are the same length.
It doesn't even have the right number of toes.
No,
I count one
that
here,
would be like a thumb.
2, 3, 4 digits. Where's the other?
It doesn't.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, so you're telling me that it only has...
And it's more like a bird because the front of the foot, the toes, and like through the mid, whatever, I guess it'd be like your palm. It would walk like it was in heels, which would verify the female.
Oh, brother.
It would walk on its tiptoes.
We have confirmed...
It wouldn't make a flat footprint like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gabby Fallen has confirmed scientifically that
No.
Skunk Ape is, in fact, female. Now, is it possible
Or
that...
no, because if you go along with the theory that it's homosexual and that me having like
Maybe it's a
moments,
homosexual female.
Yeah, but it would be like, ew, walking through that marshy nastiness that it lives in.
Oh,
and I would be tiptoeing it with the mud between my toes, too. I get it.
What you're saying is if it was a gay boy, there's no way it would live in the swamp because it would be too
if it
grossed
was a
out.
female, because if it's you don't want to be with that kind of female if she's okay with that environment.
Oh, I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. The places we go. And then
Yeah,
so
but
let's...
that's under lock and key, that footprint. Like, that is the only sacred thing. Okay. And then there you go. Like, I had a military man examine this picture.
And what did your military man determine
It's
about...
man.
He determined that it's a dude.
That is a dude
In
in a suit.
Okay, it's a dude in some kind of gorilla suit.
Yep.
Okay. So this thing was a total bust, huh?
Yeah, it was bad. So I tried to make the best of it, and I was like, okay, well, they advertise that they've got this largest snake, and they've got alligators, and all this natural wildlife. So I'll go ahead and we'll go on the zoological tour. So I was told I needed a $200 deposit to go look for skunk ape. I said, nah, you know what? Dave's not here. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
So then I asked the lady, okay, so I want 2 tickets to go on the animal safari. And she's like, $6. And I'm like, each? She's like, no, for 2.
$6 a couple.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, that seems low. And I'm like, and how do we get there? And she's like, oh, you just go through that dirty ass door that you can't see out of because all the handprints and the cobwebs covering it.
How long were you there in total?
Too long.
How long, though?
I want to say like a half hour.
And did you...
And I tried, and it was 15 minutes too long.
Okay, so you were there for half an hour, and during that half an hour, were there any other guests?
There was a young lady that was camping, and she came up to borrow a checkerboard, but they were missing 2 of the pieces, but they had replaced them with some coin or something.
This sounds like the weirdest thing.
Oh, it was bad.
I mean,
But that wasn't even like you'll see when you download the video, but when you walk into the animal museum, half the animals weren't alive.
What? They were dead?
They were dead stuffed animals or skulls of animals.
Oh, they were taxidermed.
Yeah. In a cage.
That's not... Okay.
And I really think the world's largest snake was sitting there dying.
Was there something about these... I mean, was there something special about these taxidermed animals? Like, were they rare? Were
No.
they... Like, so you could just look them up on Wikipedia and you'd be better off.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they weren't covered in cobwebs and old and moth-eaten and missing parts. So, yeah. I mean,
Wow, they had, like, actual exhibits at the museum that were covered with cobwebs?
everything was covered in cobwebs.
Oh, that sounds terrible. But
Everything in the store.
so what did you do with the rest of your day? You went all the way out to the Everglades. You spent a half an hour in this joint getting yourself disappointed. You spent $6. How much did you spend total?
$6.
You
Well, I mean, I didn't, yeah, the gas, but $6.
So they parted you with $6 whole. Was it?
Oh, and then they asked if you wanted to make a donation, and I was like, hell no. You got my $6.
What are you gonna do if I donate? Right? Their website looks pretty good, but you're saying that it just does not live up to the hype.
No.
The website
No.
does look pretty good.
Yeah, from the outside, when you look from the outside, you can tell that they kind of clean the one But that gorilla's not there. He's inside. You can stand by him because his feet are rotten and falling apart.
It's all like paper mache, right? So this is the dude, Dave.
That's Dave.
All right. And you didn't get a chance to meet Dave, dear
No.
old Dave. He probably doesn't show up unless somebody wants to do an airboat tour anyway. I mean, his website is great. Oh, look at these merch items. Look at this alligator wallet.
Yeah.
Wonder how
Yeah. But like the whole skunk ape, all that, like the skunk ape hat and the coolie cup and all that, it wasn't there. And like I'm telling you, that store is not that clean. And those alligator heads have spider webs all over them.
What do you mean, all these shirts and things that are hanging in the background?
Have not been touched in 10 or more years.
Like they don't dust?
Like they're all black and they're faded.
Didn't you say there was a woman working there?
Yes.
Aren't women usually more particular about cleanliness than men?
I don't think it mattered.
Okay.
I don't think it mattered to her. Because, I mean, I literally walked into this 4x4 room and had to ask, where is the actual skunk ape stuff?
Oh, boy.
And they donated a whole half a wall to it.
A whole half a wall.
With
That's
this
the same
picture.
thing as a half a wall.
Yeah, a whole, shut up. It's half a wall. It was half a wall with the picture and the permit or whatever it was and the footprint under lock and key. And then they had a couple keychains and stickers for your car. I saw Swamp Ape. Or Swamp Ape Expert.
And they say
Scooter
Swamp
was like, you
Ape.
definitely need this for your Jeep. And I was like, no.
Is it Swamp Ape or Skunk Ape? Which one is it?
Skunk Ape or something. I think it's Skunk Ape.
Do they they can be used interchangeably, right?
Yeah.
All right. So real quick, I'm going to do a plug here. This is apparently what Lauren and Ken from the Paradise After Dark podcast look like.
Really?
I guess they're interested in maintaining a certain degree of anonymity. If we show up to their meetup in Naples and they're wearing these masks, I will buy them both a drink. But if they don't, I'm going to snap a picture of them.
That would be really foolish.
Why?
For them not to be wearing their masks.
Well, yeah, because if they're trying, I mean, I'm sure you could find they're probably on. This is probably just a joke. Like, I don't think they're actually trying to hide who they are,
You
right?
can't say, "Oh, we're having a live feed. Come see us, but don't see us."
Right. Come see us, but don't see us. So, anyway, for those listeners out there that like, subject matter that's a little bit, I guess, off center and maybe lots of sort of unsolved mystery kind of stuff and true crime kind of stuff.
About the 22-year-old case.
I bet
the
you.
missing
I bet
body?
you they will be. Yeah.
Because I would really like to give my opinion on it.
Well, then let's do that right now. Let's do it on the show. So this thing happened not long ago, a couple days ago, 48 hours ago, I think.
Yeah.
That this news story popped about a guy who was found after 22 years or whatever, and he was found because somebody came across a car on Google Maps or Google Earth.
He was Googling his house or something. He
Yeah.
wasn't in the actual house or something, but he was Googling the area
Yeah.
and saw this object.
And you can see that there's a car right here.
Extremely in the shallows.
Yep. But deep enough to where you probably couldn't see it if you were standing on the edge of the pond.
Bullshit.
You don't think so? Oh boy, here we go. Well, before we get into your theory about why this is corrupt, let's take a look at the
But
story.
you need the other picture.
Okay.
You need the other picture that you sent me with the houses, and it shows like the full lake.
All right. Well, let's get through it.
Okay.
And we'll take a look at that. It says it took 22 years, but a missing man's remains were finally found thanks to someone who zoomed in on his former Florida neighborhood with Google satellite images and noticed a car submerged in a lake, authorities said. The skeletal remains were of William Molt, who went missing in 1997 at the age of 40, according to the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. So this is in Palm Beach County.
Mm-hmm.
Why did I think it happened in Naples? I think somebody told me
There was
that.
a case like this that happened in Naples a few years ago.
So this is the missing guy, William Molt. Says a sheriff's office spokesperson said on Thursday that a previous resident of the Grand Isles neighborhood in Wellington, Florida, was checking the neighborhood on Google Earth when he zoomed into the lake and saw what looked like a car. The former resident contacted a current homeowner who used a drone to confirm it was a white car on the edge of the pond behind his house. The man called the sheriff's office on August 28th, and deputies later arrived to find the white sedan's exterior heavily calcified and was obviously in the water for a significant amount of time. After they got the car out, they found the skeletal remains inside.
Oh, can I please? There's just so many issues.
There's a lot of issues.
Oh, there's so many issues.
All right, can you bear with me for 45 more seconds? The National Missing and Unidentified Persons System says Molt went into a nightclub in November of 1997, but did not appear intoxicated as he left alone before midnight. He had called his girlfriend from the club, saying he would return to their home soon. The subdivision was under construction when Molt went missing, but the pond was already there. So their house wasn't there yet. It wasn't done, is what I'm reading. Barry Fay, whose home is near where the car was found, told the Palm Beach Post that he had never noticed anything from the shoreline. Never did I believe there would be a 22-year-old dead body, Fay told the newspaper. And that is the conclusion of, I think that's the conclusion of the story. It's just a bunch of clickbait stuff after that.
Okay. So, do you know the Bob Ross theory? You know the artist Bob Ross?
Yes,
Happy,
I am a
fluffy
huge
trees?
fan of Bob Ross.
Okay.
Yes.
So do you know the Bob Ross theory?
No, what's the Bob Ross theory?
That all his paintings are not just happy, fluffy trees, but where he buries his murder victims.
Okay, so the theory is that Bob Ross was a serial killer.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not buying that, but so you believe that this might have been one of Bob Ross's victims.
All I'm saying, so this guy, Barry is his name?
Barry or William Molt.
No, not the dead.
Oh, the neighbor?
The neighbor who doesn't live there anymore. His house wasn't even built, so he has no investment.
Barry Fay.
No investment in looking at this property. But is he kind of admiring his work?
Okay. I see what you're going. Barry Fay, whose home is near where the car was found. Are you saying that he's the one that provided an assist with the
Possibly. And he gave a description of a white car. A white car, it would not be white 22 years later.
Well, I don't know.
We're talking calcified.
It looks pretty white.
Doesn't look white.
It looks pretty white.
It doesn't look white.
What do you think it looks like?
Silver.
You think that looks silver?
The paint would be, the paint would be gone. There would be some paint, but no.
It would be rusty, huh?
Shame on the reporting, because no, they did not lift that car up with this body inside of it.
I'll tell you why I don't think it's would have been visible from the shoreline. Because you're saying that you think it was visible from the shoreline, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it was, and here's why. This is pretty deep. By the point, see where I'm pointing? Mm-hmm. By the time you get to this level of depth, I mean, that's got to be at least 6 or 8 feet submerged beneath the surface. And the reason I don't think it was visible from over here on the shoreline is because look at all of this vegetation that's growing in the water between the car and the shoreline. Now, maybe you might have, there's vegetation over here too, though.
Uh-huh.
So maybe it just wasn't possible to see it if you were standing.
But it was there 22 years ago before even the homes were built. There was this lake. So before all this vegetation came across, this little car was just sitting up in this lake.
So what you're saying is you know that the pond wasn't there for 30 years before the place was built. You think that they dug the pond to raise the grade.
Yeah. So how many houses were actually there? Because if you look at the other picture, this is the most skilled drunk driver I have ever seen.
Okay. So you're saying that William Molt was in fact drunk because he went to a nightclub.
Nightclub, had a few, they think or suspect he had a few drinks before he made it home that night, and missed houses, driveways, fences, and went straight through the backyard. Nobody noticed any tire marks through the grass. Nobody noticed anything. There had to be a house there, because where was he headed? Just an evening stroll to look at the lake?
That's a great question. I'm actually going to try and pull up the... I'm going to see if there's an old news story about this. Because everything... I want to see what the original reporting was. This is all new stuff. Let's go to the very last page and see what Google has on it. I don't see anything about William Mull. I'm going to have to do a little more research on that to find how it was reported back in 1997. That's what I'd really like to see.
Do you think it was?
When a person goes missing? I think that's news,
Is this
right?
some single dude
I think there.
in a '94 Saturn?
Oh, I think if
Wait.
somebody goes missing, there's people that want to find him. That's a Saturn?
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah, that's what they reported. It's
A Saturn what?
I wrote it down.
It says, it's an SL1 probably. So it's a sedan. It's weird. That's a weird shaped sedan. It looks like a box. It looks like a little, that little Scion boxcar thing. That's what it looks like to me.
See, all that vegetation wasn't there.
So you think, but your theory is that the guy's neighbor offed him.
Yeah.
And now he's gloating secretly.
Yeah.
Like a...
Yeah. Because why? Why would I? You know what? I moved away from the area. I don't own a home there. I have no financial investment in the area. You know what? I just want to see what the neighborhood looks like.
Okay.
And I just, that looks so weird. This metallic object in this lake.
What
Let me contact the police because that looks suspicious.
So what you're really
and
saying is that
let me contact a neighbor that I don't know or haven't lived near in how many years.
Maybe we should call Sheriff Gary Sisk
Yeah.
to investigate.
I'm telling you, I have so many questions for Gary to help. He needs me on his patrol.
On Gary Sisk's patrol. I don't think he's going to come down and investigate something in Palm Beach all the way from. But you know what? Let's give him 2 seconds of screen time. So anyway, I don't have anything on Gary today, but I was thinking about Sheriff Gary Sisk a little bit because I do from time to time think
Yeah.
about him, and I've come up with this. I think he might be a little bit shady, and because you think about it, he got sued for rupturing a dude's testicle, and his dog. He tried to get rid of his dog in a really mysterious way. I'm thinking we can probably find more dirt.
I don't know,
if we dig a little
because
deeper.
your theory says that he controls the media, so they would.
I think he controls the media outlets in Catoosa County, Georgia.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, who's going to win in a battle between the sheriff's office and the little Catoosa paper?
Yeah, especially in Catoosa.
Yeah, and I've never been to Catoosa, but it could be. It could be. I might have the wrong idea. It might be a thriving, advanced, progressive place. You know.
Yeah.
It might.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, probably not. So then what's the verdict with this? At least they figured out where he went, but what you're saying is there was foul play, and everybody's ignoring it.
Are they though? Is that why they purposely talked about them removing the car with the skeletal remains? They didn't. Does nobody watch CSI?
Oh, you're saying they removed it from the crime scene?
The divers went in and bagged that dude up, and then they removed it altogether.
Oh, you're saying that divers actually dived to check the car first before they pulled it out?
Yeah, and then they had to bag up whatever remains was left of the Mr. Stew and pull it up together that way.
Oh, that's right. You coined a new term.
Stewicide.
Stewicide, which is when somebody drowns to death and stays in it. It's stewicide.
Unfortunately, because of the statute of limitations, so the eyes, the lips, the penis, all that would go first by the fishies. So we can't check for bite marks.
How do you know there's fish in this pond?
They put, what do they call them?
You're supposing an awful lot of things about this pond that you can't verify. You've already speculated as to its age.
I just got this handed to me, 24 hours ago?
I know.
Now next week, I will have a report.
But you're saying that the pond it was just built, that there was no vegetation. No, you did. You said that it had to be new because it was a pond that they had dug for building the neighborhood.
25 years old?
Yeah, by now.
Yeah.
But back then, you're saying that the pond was...
But the neighbor that found the car is saying that only a few of the houses were there, and the pond was relatively new. And nobody noticed any tire tracks or anything in this stretch of land that fell into this.
You know what, though? That's the thing. If the pond was still being used for the construction, they may have been dumping into it or digging out of it, there may have been construction tracks to and from the pond, and a car driving over them that would have been completely, you wouldn't have been able to tell.
Oh no.
Not at first glance, anyway. You're convinced this thing was
Not
this
to
was
mention how many lawn service crews have been there trimming and cutting, or the development that comes and treats the water and shocks the system and no.
You mean the pool service guy?
It's not the pool service.
They
dude.
don't
They
shock
have the lake
the
service.
pond. No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
That-
Because of all of the backwash from all the pesticides and fertilization and all that from the yards. Yeah, they do. They have to shock it. That's why you get that blue-green algae thing going on in lakes.
Well, because of the runoff, I know.
Yeah.
Right, so you're saying that they put bleach to kill,
They don't put bleach. They put some other chemical, acid or something in there.
but it's something that kills plant life but doesn't kill fish. Because then how would the fish have eaten the man's penis off, as you suggest?
Eyes, nose, penis, breast tissue. All the softy, gooey stuff goes.
That's the stuff that goes first. Okay.
The fish like the soft tissue first.
You're like some kind of expert
then
when
it
it comes to
turns-
decaying bodies.
I know, but then it turns into like a crock pot pulled pork
Oh,
thing.
can you imagine with all the summer heat and
Yeah.
the sunshine?
So just
bleh.
imagine like a pulled pork sandwich, and that's this dude just.
Gabby Fallon. She's gross. She's being gross. Okay. So we talked skunk ape. We talked Stewicide.
We're gonna practice the word skunk ape
Skunk ape. Why can't I say it? I keep saying skunk ape.
because there may be a potential interview.
Okay. What's going on?
I made a connection.
Here we go.
I talked to a few people and put it out there.
When Gabby says she talked to a few people, she's like, she's got her military connection. She's got her pond dwelling expert body decomposing connection.
We just got our own DK farm.
Weren't you talking about a hermaphrodite cat that you something you found out about? The stuff you know about is
I know.
like beyond mind blowing.
But there might be an interview in the future that I think you're going to enjoy.
Ooh. Drum roll or anything like that? We dare not unveil.
No, we can't unveil yet. Not till it's confirmed.
I guess I'll just have to remain in
but
suspense.
you're going to have to learn to say the name.
Skunk ape.
Okay.
Ape. Can I swamp ape? That's easy to say.
Swamp ape? Okay, swamp ape.
Swamp
they only call
ape.
it skunk ape because she has an odor problem. But shit, I was out there. It wouldn't be difficult.
Did it smell bad in around her habitat area? Did it smell terrible? Was it skunky?
It smelled swampy.
Well, then maybe it's not her. Maybe it's just the
I think
whole
it's the
area. Yeah, because swamps don't
there's
smell real good.
nothing. Like, literally, you drive down the road, and the swamp is above the road, which I don't understand, because wouldn't the water come over the road?
Yeah, probably sure it does at times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it was real uneasy driving out there.
What kind of vehicle did you go in?
My Jeep. I was prepared if I had to off-road
You
it.
put it in four-wheel drive?
Yeah, I was prepared. If I needed to.
In your Jeep. Okay, so that's good. And then we had, let's see, we talked about the race dates, and I went on a date, and it was good, and yeah.
Why can't I have a good date?
Oh.
Why is it only you that has
Wait
good
a minute.
dates?
I heard through the grapevine that you did have a
I
good
did.
date. But that you, it's more fun to talk about the dates that suck.
Yeah.
So check this out, guys. We've got this crazy scheme. We're not going to fill in all the blanks, but here's a little bit of a preview. We're going to create dating profiles for each other, which may or may not be totally truthful. They may stretch the truth a little bit. And I've already come up with some great ideas for Gabby's. I think she's going to be a 2-time national putt-putt golf runner-up.
Runner-up. Yeah.
And a cheesemonger, able to answer any and all questions about cheese. And so what I'm hoping is that
Don't forget the bass fisherman.
Oh, yes. Expert fisherwoman. And of course, in real life, Gabby likes cheese but isn't an expert at it, has never played golf and doesn't know anything about it, and doesn't particularly care for fishing and doesn't know a whole lot about it. So we're going to set her up as an expert in these subjects and then send her on a date so that she can try to convince.
I'm dying to see the specimen of man
I'm not going to set her up with anybody
that finds
ugly.
these qualities attractive in a woman.
And then Gabby's going to do the same thing with me.
Oh.
I was going through some of pictures that I have of you to come up to use on your profile. Some of them are from your older pictures from your Facebook, and it looks like you're about 15 years old. And then I also found a picture of a woman fishing that kind of borderline sort of looks like you a little bit, I guess. But she's holding a fish that's like 4 feet long, like she's a super awesome fisherman.
Because she's short like me, and everything looks big.
That's probably, it
Yeah.
could be part of what it is. So that's coming your way. We're going to do that. And in a few minutes, we're going to go visit with some other podcasters from the Paradise After Dark, which we plugged already. So what do you want to talk about to finish up today's episode?
Why? Why me?
Is there anything we missed?
Well, you didn't rate your date.
Okay.
Your good date.
I'll tell you a little. I can tell you a little bit about my good date.
Well, I get stalked and talked into going to the woods and biting people and throat punching. And
You know why?
I had a
Because
really good date.
when people call or text me at midnight, I either don't get it, don't answer, or tell them no. Because I have to get up very early every morning.
I have to get up. I
And-
just don't sleep.
Oh, that's right. You're sort of you sleep in a coffin, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How do they?
They're so comfy. They got the pillows on the side. And
But when you bring a date home, do you get in the coffin with them, or do they sleep beside the
Oh.
coffin? How does that work?
that's the keeper that comes and stays in the coffin.
Oh, so if you can find one that'll go in the
Yeah.
coffin with you,
That's a keeper.
then you'll know. He's checked off all the items that I wanted. He bought me a dead rose.
He let me throat punch him.
He let me throat punch him, and he slept in the coffin with me. So,
Winning.
I wonder how Wanda's been. She hasn't been real talkative lately.
Yeah, Wanda. I need you to participate.
So for those of you who have not seen us on video before, this is Wanda. Wanda is your...
Wanda has an admirer.
What?
Yeah.
Who?
Scooter.
Scooter is as a Wanda admirer?
Yeah.
No
He
kidding.
has got the hots for Wanda.
Let's do an extreme Wanda close-up. I can't do an extreme Wanda close-up. Can I? Side cam, here we go. This is Wanda. Here, why don't you hold Wanda? There we go. And we actually, on one of our prior episodes, we talked about how you made Wanda,
Yeah.
Wanda was handmade by Gabby,
Hand sewn.
hand sewn with love. And this is some accurate quality stitching here that you did. It's very, very nice. Anyway, because we had to scrap the video on that, I wanted to make sure that everybody got a chance to see Wanda, since we were giving visual descriptions. So thank you, Wanda, for joining us. And thank all of you for joining us as well. If I could get back to my main cam. Back home you go. At least home away from home, I suppose. I can't wait for the next episode.
Yeah.
And we will see you then. Until then, be good and stay out of trouble, okay? Bye.
Bye.